Okay, so I'm just going to get this right out of the way. I'm going to say Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, because we are, this is editorial. We are not
Okay.
advertising. We're not
Got it.
claiming to
We're not
sponsor
trying
it.
to infringe upon
We're
anyone's.
reporting on. So it's much like a headline that says
Yes,
who won the Super Bowl.
so much journalistic integrity is going to come from
Of
me in the
course.
next 30
Of
minutes.
course. So what were our favorite ads from the big game, also known as the Super Bowl? Not the Super Cup, which was pitched in one of the ads as well.
The Super Cup?
Yeah, so it was for Uber Eats. We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
So
I
what were our
missed that one.
favorites?
I checked out.
Mine and
Okay.
Caitlin's. Full disclosure, I did not watch the game, and I am grateful because it seemed horribly boring and awful.
It was not a good. We were talking about this because I think we had some Chiefs haters from that division. We have some Bears fans in the office, and they were thrilled with the outcome, with the entire game, with the six sacks. That's funny. However, I was torn because I love a Taylor Travis moment. I also like sports history and trivia, so I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool if that was like a thing, the three-peat happened, which is also like a copyrighted three-peat. You can't say that without permission.
Well,
yeah, I think. But then I also I like the Eagles. I like their like gritty team community. Jalen Hurts has an all-female management team, which I find very interesting and wonderful.
I had him in our fantasy football thing.
He's just such a cutie. He's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Josh Allen is too,
yes.
But he's
Bills. Josh Allen is the Bills. Yes,
okay.
Good job.
Yay, me sports. All right.
But then I also was rooting for the Eagles because Cooper DeJean is from Iowa. Just like a couple hours south, I think.
He's from Ida Grove
OABCIG.
area.
Yeah.
Oldbolt Arthur. Oldbolt is where he's from, I think.
Yes.
And so
but
it's my stomping grounds.
He wore his little like senior Letterman jacket as part of his entrance outfit. Isn't that so cute?
I know. He's
and
adorable.
It was his birthday. It was a whole thing. He and Saquon Barkley had the same birthday.
Or something?
He's a baby. He's just a little baby.
Of course.
And then some more like Eagles player trivia. My family, my mom is from the same area as Dallas Goedert, who is the tight end for the Eagles.
Okay.
And so there's like lots of little regional excitement.
Okay. When I don't care about either team.
Yes.
I know we live close to Kansas City. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But for me, a game, like a close game, is just always more exciting.
Yeah, it wasn't fun to watch.
And when it's like a runaway blowout, it's just like it's painful.
Yeah, And that's the thing is like it was fun to watch because the Eagles were playing like lights out. Like they just were on anyway.
Yeah.
You did not come to this podcast for sports commentary.
No.
Shall we talk about some Super Sunday punch that you can make for your next
So before
party?
we get to those ads, we're going to do this. So warning, disclosure on this as Caitlin gets into the ingredients in a minute. This is meant for a party and large servings. This is not meant for an individual at home.
Do whatever you want.
TV
we don't make
dogs.
the rules.
I mean, honestly, you could probably
put it in the fridge.
So this you talked about the Bears. This comes from a Chicago bartender, Mike Ryan. I don't know where he bartends at, but I'm not familiar with him, who calls upon two classic American spirits. So there's bourbon and apple brandy.
Yes.
In this. And the bourbon is 100 proof bourbon. Dear God.
Good thing we are going to start with 25 whole cloves, 6 cinnamon sticks, and a teaspoon of whole allspice. Sturdy. Again, this is for a crowd.
This feels like a Thanksgiving drink when family's coming over.
Honestly, it does kind of feel Yeah, yes. You want 1 750 milliliter bottle of 100 proof bourbon and 1 750 milliliter bottle Laird's apple brandy. I do love an apple brandy. 25 ounces of ruby red grapefruit juice, freshly squeezed. I feel like if you're making a punch like this, you can
get a jar.
Just get the
can or the plastic jug thing.
Yeah. Just get some Simply grapefruit juice. That's
do you know how many grapefruits you have to squeeze for 25 ounces?
That's like
it's a lot.
you would spend, that's like your life savings in grapefruits.
Yeah, just
don't do that. Sorry,
ounce
Mike Ryan. We're not freshly squeezing 25 ounces
Mike
of
didn't
ruby
squeeze
red.
them. Mike had some barback or somebody who was doing it for him.
Okay, next, 25 ounces of honey, 10 ounces of sweet tea.
Where do you even get 25 ounces of honey? Like, that's a lot.
I don't know. I think that's just like one bear, isn't it?
No, a bear's only like, isn't a bear only like 8 ounces or 16 ounces or 12 or something?
It's a big bear.
Yeah. All right.
You could probably also do like honey and simple if you wanted to not.
Yeah, you could.
Because I'm a boozy bitch about the kind of honey that I use, and it's like only raw from a specific farm here locally because it tastes like the honey that came from my grandparents. Anyway, then you're gonna garnish this with an apple, cored and sliced. So wrap your cloves, cinnamon sticks, and allspice in cheesecloth and tie into a bundle, and then just put in the punch bowl. So it's like a little.
So you don't accidentally drink them later. Like, you don't want chunks of those things in there.
Yeah. And then you're going to add the remaining ingredients to your bowl and stir thoroughly. I think you might need to, like, stir the honey into some, like, I think you're going to need to not just put it all in a bowl with ice.
Like, I feel like an immersion blender is what I would use for this.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Yep.
And
but you just dump it in a bowl and then hope that it's all stirred up.
Stir the crap out of it.
Fill with some ice cubes and garnish with your apple slices.
You could have some frozen apple slices and throw them in there
cute.
As ice cubes. That would be cute. All right.
Or like whole frozen apples if you cored the apple and just like doop.
So like, Super Sunday punch, likely served
then at the end you could bob for the apples if you really want to share your germs with the crowd.
No, wow, gross. No, I don't share food. You know this.
I did know that.
All
right,
well, thanks, Mike Ryan.
Share food. Yeah.
Super Sunday punch.
What was your favorite? I have two favorites. Because I was told to keep this brief, which, as we know, it can be a struggle for me. So I have one like more serious or heartfelt, and then I have one. I have two that like tied for fun, but I'm going to spend a lot of time on the serious / heartfelt.
So I had two serious ones that I loved. So I loved the Budweiser Clydesdales because I always loved that and the little horse and everything.
Sweet, but I was not into it. I don't know.
But it wasn't one of my favorites. Google with all the feels got me again at this one.
Can you give me the premise of this one? Because I felt the same way. I remember I looked at my husband and I was like, damn, Google, like, ouch. But I have since forgotten because I have watched my favorites a couple more times.
I'm trying to remember what that was.
It
was the life of, it was his little girl. It was his whole life of his little girl for this dude. So he was trying to apply for jobs. And he had a big gap because he was a stay-at-home dad raising his daughter. Yeah. And so the Google AI, which is Gemini is what it's called, I believe, was helping him prep for his interview using his skills he learned he used at home for finding a job. Yeah. And then the thing that really twisted it is at the end, there was him holding his daughter. So he drops her off at college. And he's like in the car starting to cry.
And then she comes back
and she hugs him and she's wearing like a blue hoodie. And then it cuts back to when she was a little girl and he was holding her and she was wearing a blue hoodie. Yeah. That one got me just stabbed me right in the heart.
Yeah.
Dads,
man.
I was not a fan of the Mountain Dew seal ad at all. That did not have to exist.
So fucking random and strange. I was like, that's weird and gross, but also it's funny that they like changed the word
earlier on.
It did?
Yeah, it had a teaser ad where it's just the real seals like sort of making pitches in the song, and the guy in the boat is like, "Should we bring in the big seal?" And then like later on, it's the whole ad with
not a fan.
Oh, God. I appreciate the thought that went into it.
Yeah.
But my God, no.
I think this is maybe speaking to the broader, like, celebrity approach that a lot of ads took. I think to be a successful celebrity ad, they have to know that it's a bit. and like Seal, the human, committing to that bit sold it for me.
I mean,
so like
I don't know what they had to pay him though. Like it must have been a lot.
I don't know.
It was probably a few
Or maybe he was like,
$100,000.
I'm gonna make all the royalties back on this like song when you play it. You know.
I mean, it is better than them buying the lyrics and music and just having somebody else perform it who gets all those royalties from the ads.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that was my problem kind of overall with like the Matthew McConaughey was everywhere for some reason.
Yeah,
but he was playing Matthew McConaughey, and I'm like, take or leave. Just get like whatever. So, it's also very confusing because he's like Uber Eats and also Salesforce, and like he was the same. Like the delivery
Salesforce
was the
was
same.
Dumb though. I don't trust Salesforce to handle that shit for me.
No.
So the Uber Eats one was good because it plays like an NFL history, like Super Bowl history thing. And just the pun on all of the food, and that like this whole event with the bowl, and this one is Super Bowl
that it was like made to sell food or whatever. And I was like,
well, the cameos in that one got me. I was just sort of like, oh, okay, this is really interesting. They got a lot of people to do fun stuff. And then Martha Stewart with the salad and the cackle, like you're played in a stadium named after. She goes, a salad. It's great. What'd you think of the Hellmans, Meg Ryan, and Billy Crystal redoing?
So I, again, like committed to the bit. I feel like that bit has maybe been done, but that's just me. The youths had no idea. We were talking about it at lunch, and Megan was like, I just did not get why it was like overly sexual about mayo. And I was like, well, that was a callback. And so then I had to like explain the whole movie of When Harry Met Sally. And I
feel like when you have to watch a movie to understand the ad, like.
But there's a subset of people probably like, and I'm probably right on the cusp of when.
I'm right in the middle of it. Like I am dead on where that is.
So, like mid-30s to 50s where like they know that reference, like the sweater is a reference and the diner. But
the woman in the background, she wasn't the one that said, I'll have what she's having, but wasn't like they cut to her. Isn't that Billy Crystal's mom? And is she still alive? I thought that it was either the same woman or it was somebody they like got to look like her. But she's not the one. So in the movie, she's the one that says, I'll have what she's having.
Sydney Sweeney was the one that was like, I'll have what she's having. And she's
but before they do that, over Billy Crystal's shoulder in the background is the woman from the movie who said, I'll have what she's having. And so for me, it was just a big miss in like, okay, why didn't they have her like just do it. Do the bit.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going in a different direction, but we'll get to your favorites, your others, and I may touch on it. So celebrities doing bits versus celebrities being themselves. So we got the Matt Damon, David Beckham, which is a half and half. David Beckham being himself, but Matt Damon is his twin brother who...
I missed that one.
Oh, yeah. So it's his twin brother who was, his family sent him to America. It was for Stella Artois.
Okay.
And so David Beckham goes to find him, and they're like, because he's like, what did you name him? And they're like, Other David. And they're like, well, if you got two kids named David, one's got to be the other David. And so he goes and finds him, and Matt Damon he goes by Dave. He's Dave Beckham, and he's having a party, and they're having wings, and he explains like wings being from Buffalo, and he's like, so you're not eating buffalo? No, they're just from Buffalo, like all of that. But so Matt Damon playing that, and at the end, he's like, so are you famous? Like, are you Matt Damon famous? And he's like, no, I'm more Ben Affleck famous. And he goes, that's a shame. And it was hilarious. And then they follow that right up with Ben and Casey Affleck doing a Dunkin' Donuts commercial as themselves.
Yes.
And then they got another actor, and at the end, Casey's like, we should have got Damon. Like, I appreciate those. I don't think their stellar commercials are phenomenal, but they're entertaining. They're 30 to 60 seconds of entertainment.
I didn't enjoy the Dunkin' Donuts one because I kept having, like, I kept being pulled out of it to be like, who's that person? And who's that person? Like, they had all of these cameos, but I was like, am I either too old or, like, not aware of pop culture enough to know who these people are? That was tough for
Yeah,
me.
I do get that.
And then like Bill Belichick's daughter girlfriend, ugh, gross.
So
It's
what was
too much. Anyway.
what was your favorite?
Okay. I feel like I need to preface this by
Do
saying
not say Squarespace.
that, oh God, no.
That was awful.
It was. I was like, why is he throwing computers at people? That feels dangerous. So there were so many moments where I feel like companies miss the mark a little bit of like the social tone of things right now. Like there were some like preachy moments and some things of like, is this really the place for that? And like I am a customer of Hims and Hers, right? So like actual target audience. And they're talking about how like our food system is fucked up and, you know, pharmaceuticals are hard to access and expensive. And I'm like, yeah, this event is all capitalism, which is like the root of all of the problems you're talking about. And I'm like, you spent $4 million and like could have done so many other things with the $4 million.
And they were okay with the body positivity piece of the ad.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was all fine. And like stick to that and that I can get a GLP-1 for cheap with you. Like that's all not really fine. That cheap,
but yeah.
I know. Yeah. But cheaper than...
It's easier than going through your health insurance, like pre-authorization.
But yeah, like sometimes they do go too far. Like it's almost like they had a singular message, and I could see this happening. And if the agency had the singular message of like, we're going to talk about body positivity, like all bodies are beautiful, but if you want yours to be different, you can take control of that yourself. We'll make you access that. And then somebody was like, I think we need to talk about pharmaceutical companies being bad in this as well. And somebody's like, why don't we talk about like food is the reason these people are fat? It's not their fault. And they're just like, and somebody's going, oh my God, no, we had one message and now we've got 6 messages. This is going to suck.
It just wasn't even because the message landed, right? Like I believe all of the things that they were talking about, but I was like, this avenue that you are presenting your message.
Oh, this venue. Yeah, this is not the place.
It's like, this isn't the, like, it's so antithetical to the entire premise of the Super Bowl that it did not connect. There were a couple like that where it was like...
You didn't have non-GMO nachos at your house and tofu wings?
No. We had popcorn that Dorothy was eating out of like a cat. So then every so often... Yes. We're a crisp white family.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, if somebody asked me, what do you know about Caitlin's family? I'd say they're crisp and white.
Crisp whites. No, I like the white corn as opposed to a yellow corn. I feel like it's the texture is better. This is a hill I will die on. Oil popped.
White corn, 100%.
Yes.
I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
So what about, how do you feel about eyebrows and mustaches?
I did not love any of those. If I was going to choose one, I liked the premise of the Pringles one a little bit. No, the mustache, right?
Well, and I love a good Nick Offerman moment.
Yeah, and that's really what did it for me because, again, committed to the bit. Like, if anybody's going to commit, it's Nick Offerman.
I mean, I love a good Eugene Levy moment, too.
But also, like, was it the same? It seemed like it was the same AI hair. Like, they just...
Like, the same agency did it, and they're like, we paid all this money for this flying AI hair. We're going to put it over here.
We might as well just reuse it. It wasn't my favorite. Okay, so my joyful favorite, it was a tie between Seal, which we've already discussed, and the Michelob Ultra pickleball, because that is like the perfect case of knowing your audience, committing to the hilarity. And then, like, leaning into a pop culture moment, right? Because, like, people who drink Michelob Ultra like that's my mom's beer, and you better be ready if you're gonna come at Carol Hoisted on the pickleball court. Like,
And
the crossover was, she
is
was
she
the immediate target audience.
Is she a Moira Rose fan?
I don't think so.
Not a Schitt's Creek audience, but is she
I don't think so. But
like a the like Best in Show and some of those? Did she see any of those? So she's
no, I don't think so.
Beetlejuice.
I don't think so. We're not like a pop culture. This is a separate discussion where like there's a void in my like movie knowledge because that was not part of my like childhood.
So you need to have a millennial gay on your trivia team then, because they will know all the things about those that you don't know.
Probably, yeah. But honestly, like Tyrell watched enough of that stuff that he's my trivia partner for life.
He's almost a millennial gay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gay.
A lot of people thought he was for a long time. So
they thought he was a gay black man.
Yeah. So I loved the Mick Ultra one because, like I said, it was they knew their audience, they committed, and it was fun. Like I would watch Catherine O'Hara like do literally anything. She's spectacular.
Same.
So
if she could just come to my house and hang out and I don't know, eat prosciutto.
I don't know.
It would be hilarious.
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna hate me for this, but you love the seal thing, so I'm all in. The one that made me laugh out loud, I don't think it was a great ad, but again, committing to the bit, the Taco Bell Doja Cat. So they were teasing that they were
I missed the beginning of, I think I was like solving another crisis for my tiny child.
Yeah, so they were teasing that they're going to have real people from their drive-through cameras in their ads.
Yes. Okay.
And Doja Cat kept popping in, and the woman in the drive-through window, who, complete unknown actress, just like an extra, just screaming at her and berating her and be like, Ms. Cat, I told you no, you've got to go. Like, just really, like, over the top committing to, like teenagers were vandalizing the drive-thru, like, trying to get Doja Cat out of there.
Can I tell you a story? One time I got kicked out of a Taco Bell drive-thru once.
Oh, what did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Were you walking?
No. We pulled up and we said, just a minute. And then the guy was like, order when you're ready. And my friend was like, just a minute, please. And he's like, that's it. Get out of my drive-thru. So then I called. I was in college. Like, I just graduated college. So then I called that Taco Bell's manager and got so many coupons.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me sound really cool where I was like, oh, I was such a badass. Like, I kicked out of the drive-thru. But then I was like, I'm going to get so many fucking churros from you. You don't even know. Not churros. Cinnamon twists. Churros is Taco John's.
Yep.
Like, that's how bad. I'm not good at being hardcore.
I had a Runza burger delivery that was awful, so I took a picture of it, and this is back when I was still tweeting. And they replied and wanted to like take it private, and I got like 8 free meals from them. But the burger was awful. Like, I had ordered like one of the deluxe like bacon burgers, and I got it, and like it was a bun, a burger, like half a pickle, and the top bun, and that was it. There was nothing else on the burger. And I was like, I feel like this is like the worst burger I've ever seen in my life. And I love Runza's burgers. I hate a Runza because I don't like cooked cabbage. Ugh. But I love their burgers and fries. And crinkle fries.
I like the buns. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, have we kind of done it with Hellman's Sex, the lime Mountain Dew with seal and sharks?
I have one more soapbox moment, because my favorite serious or like touching, poignant commercial was the Nike "You Can't Win."
Oh, I missed that one.
Oh gosh, I've watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's so good. Also features an Iowa superstar, Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
So it was.
Yes.
Did you see? Yeah, I was like, you had to have seen this. It's the first Super Bowl ad they've done in a long time too, which I thought was really interesting. So again, the caveat is Nike is a company who is trying to capitalize on a moment where women are feeling underrepresented, undervalued, underappreciated. Right. So we're like fighting the patriarchy. That said, Nike also has a history of undervaluing female athletes and then removing them from their contracts. Allison Felix is a perfect example of she was devalued basically when she was pregnant, and then they weren't sure if they were going to renew her contract, and so she was like, okay, see you later, Nike, and went to a female-owned brand. That said, the commercial was beautiful. The message was fantastic. Like, legitimately, the end tagline is "You can't win, so win," and it's all about like you can't be emotional, but you have to be emotional, and you can't, you can't be tough, but you have to be tough, and you can't be like all of the paradigms of being a woman in sports, and so the idea that you can't win is so true. I also just have to say, like, corporations are not going to save us. So, like, yes, it's a great message. It's a great message. It was a fantastic ad. And
Walmart's not coming to your rescue.
That's 100% it. Like Nike's main goal out of that message was to make money from women. So
yeah, to sell more things to women. Yeah. And to be a brand that they can relate to.
Yes.
Which is fine. I mean, it's still good to put that message out there.
Yes.
But yeah, that is at the end of the day what they want.
Yeah. And the idea, like, yes, and this is like more, again, like socio-political commentary where we're relying on corporations to do the work of government and society, when in reality that is not their function. But that is a story for a different podcast.
That's a whole other episode. We're just talking about when
I
Harry
don't even
met
think
Sally
it's another episode. I think
sexual
it's a different
mayonnaise.
podcast.
I think it is a different podcast. I think that podcast is out there, and maybe you should be a guest on that one.
I would love nothing more. I have so many opinions. Please, won't someone tap into them?
All right. Fair.
Thank you, as always, for listening. You want to talk about what we've got coming up, and then I'll close us out?
Sure. Yeah. So coming up, we have a wonderful episode. We do these when we get interns. And so we're doing our spring intern view for 2025.
We love our little baby interns. They're so good.
Yeah. And we'll plug a little bit more about our 71shirts.com e-commerce business that they run. Like, we don't run it.
Yes.
I keep it up just by paying the bills and, doing some technical stuff.
But they're in charge.
Yeah, they're in charge. They figure out the design and all that stuff. So beautiful shirts. And I believe there'll be some news about new shirts coming too.
Yeah.
That's usually one of the things that happens.
We'll hear more about that on our next episode. You can, as always, find our agency at antidote_71. If you have a question you'd like to send our way, you can visit ctapodcast.live, or you can leave us a voice message on our hotline at 402-718-9971. And your question or comment will make it into a future episode. We'd love to talk to you. It would be so fun.
And Zach works remotely, so he would really love voicemails from you so that he can have some human contact.
Zach just wants to talk to any human.
He won't answer the phone. He might call you back. Who knows? But he wants voicemails. So, all right.
We'll see you next time.
Yep.